Alright everybody, so of course I'm an oversimplified fan, and I love the Punic War videos, but this set me down this crazy rabbit hole of trying to figure out what exactly the Carthaginian government was, because Rome literally salted everything around Carthage, including, everything we know about its governments. So I've read, 15 different PDFs of ancient sources, had to buy one, okay? So you're gonna go down this crazy rabbit hole with me, okay? So, like Rome, Carthage originally had a king, but when one of their kings died, it became an oligarchical system with some mercantilism, mostly merchant families taking over, because Carthage had a heavy impact on trade. So it's the merchants and the oligarchs that were the real head of power in Carthage. Now, out of all of these oligarchs and just standard people, they would elect two suffets who would be judges. And you can kind of think of these guys as the Supreme Court mixed with the president for modern day understanding. They were the highest authority over all laws and could interpret what a law meant. But we don't know exactly how long they were in power for. They would also help run the Atrium. The Atrium, it can be thought of as the Roman Senate, but it wasn't necessarily a democratic process, again, just a lot of oligarchs electing themselves or just popular figureheads. And these were the richest men of Carthage. If you were in the Atrium, you had to be rich getting in, and your wealth would skyrocket. These were the people who made the laws and kind of ran the day-to-day operations. Now, Carthage was one of the first governments with checks and balances, and that's what Aristotle says. But they made this secondary judicial branch to check the Atrium called the 104, and the 104 were 104 judges who decided what was best for Carthage, like what trade routes to open up, what building to build. So while the Atrium made all the laws, the 104 really just decided what was the best option for Carthage. Now, unlike Rome, something that gets highly pointed out is military figures were appointed. They weren't just elected as consul and then decided to go to war, or were slowly voted up by the ranks of the troops. All of them had to be appointed by the Atrium, so again, usually oligarchs saying, yo, let's put my cousin in for this part. And again, with the checks and balances, you could only fill one of these positions at a time. If you got elected into one, you had to give up the other. If you were appointed into the military, you couldn't be a part of the Atrium. So you would have to choose what career path you would go down, rather than just a broad perspective to do like most ancient governments at the time. So for major laws to pass, both the suffets and the Atrium would agree, and they would have to get a majority vote, and then the suffets would always have to agree to each other, usually ending up becoming part of the same oligarch family. So one oligarch family would rule, and then another oligarch would take over. But for the biggest decisions for Carthage, everyone has to agree. It was something 3/4 of the 104, both suffets, 3/4 of the Atrium. All of them would have to agree in order to make huge policy changes. And if they didn't agree, or there was a tie in the number of votes, a fourth branch of the government would form of elected officials, so not appointed or kind of elected officials, just average Joes. This was usually your wealthy merchants, not a part of an oligarch family, just some busybody working boy, or heroes. So famously Hamilcar was elected into this People's Council. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm sorry this video wasn't as energetic. This is a really complex form of government, and it also doesn't help we don't have any primary sources, just 400 years after. So we really don't know what the Carthage government was like, but this is kind of the best estimate we have. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and bye!